What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of TVXQ's ninth album, 20 and 2. This is the first album drop from the K-pop duo, legendary second-gen K-pop duo TVXQ. Their first release since 2018. It's been a long time, and this release is celebrating 20 years of this group being out, debuting way back in 2002. Obviously very unprecedented to have K-pop groups remains so active so long into a career. Of course, the name is alluding to both the 20 years of being a group, but also the fact that TVXQ remains only two members after obviously being a larger group when it debuted. It's been a duo for over 10 years at this point, so this is what most people I think about lately. Nonetheless, it's pretty cool to get a second gen drop. I guess it's becoming a bit more common lately. I talked about the Shiny album that came out, last summer, and that's an interesting example of a group really jumping back into their career after post-military service as male idols. And I'll be curious if TVXQ gets super active as a duo again. We'll see. They've been around as soloists, but either way, it's just really cool to see this from old groups. It's like almost just like really kind of a welcome thing no matter when it happens, just because you don't get it all too often. And if sometimes when it does happen, maybe there's not as much fanfare about it, various reasons. Nonetheless, I think there was quite a bit of excitement about TVXQ's comeback. The only downside to it, honestly, was that this dropped on December 26th, coming out in the holiday corridor. Not the best time to release music. A lot of people aren't checking for it. A lot of people aren't writing about it, So I've obviously coming to this album a little bit late here. Nonetheless, TVXQ's 20 and 2, 10 songs, 31 minutes. I actually like this quite a bit. I didn't have much experience listening to this group, to be honest, but for really having no expectations, I guess my biggest expectation is knowing it's an SM Entertainment drop, just kind of thinking about the production styles and choices they usually lean into. I was pretty into it, honestly. Like, I think for the most part, the whole track list goes pretty hard. The first song down, I thought the singing, the vocals, were great. I think, and Max Chang, they're just really talented vocalists, and that should come as no surprise, obviously. But like, they harmonize great, and like I think the production is used in such a strong way to really kind of highlight and then mix them together. Like I just think it sounds really awesome. I love the drop on this song down. I think the intro in general is really engaging. On the outro, you kind of get to this like really like passion, like belting out vocals, which I thought were really good as well. The big I think title track here would be track 2, Rebel, which I also like a lot. I mean, that beat goes absolutely crazy. I think there's some like flute in there. Really just kind of brings the energy. Really kind of bonkers. I kind of love the melody. It's almost like a Carol of the Bells melody. Speaking of the holidays, like that stood out to me. It could have used a better chorus, but honestly, all the verses, all the other build-up aspects of the song, I think work really well. And honestly, a song like this kind of reminds me of like what Stray Kids is up to these days, and I'm sure they take some inspiration from their K-pop OGs in terms of how they make music. But it certainly brought me there in terms of music I listen to right now. Just kind of going through the rest of the track list, though. Track 3, Rodeo. I thought the vocals really strong on here. You got some hip hop on that one. Jungle, really cool electronic breakdown. In general, the production on this album is really engaging for its, I think, variety, for its like layered nature, and sometimes it's a lot, but I thought it was pretty fun, to be honest. Life's a Dance, definitely a vibe shift for sure, as it might suggest. Very dancey, kind of a fun rhythm to it. I enjoyed the horn production. Fix It, which is just a solo song. Catchy, pretty groovy. I like when the hip hop comes in kind of halfway through. And then you have the Max Chang solo, Take My Breath Away, which I liked, I think, a little bit less, just kind of like a ballad song, to be honest. It's all right. Promise is solid. The Way You Are, which is noted here as the unplugged version, uh, I love the harmony on that. They really harmonize on the chorus. Sounds great. Nice drums as well. Starlight, I thought the piano stood out on this as well. And yeah, like, I mean, for having no expectations going in, I was pleasantly surprised. I'm curious what like hardcore TVXQ fans are thinking about it. Or if you were there 20 years ago, please let me know what you think of this. I mean, in general, the way I treat these kind of releases, it's like it's just cool that you're getting it. It's cool that they're working together again, just because it feels so uncommon, feels so far away, that sort of thing. So yeah, for not having too many expectations, I was pretty pleased. And I think a song like Rebel definitely is fun to go back to for sure. And I'll put that on the playlist for the best songs of 2024. So yeah, let me know what you thought of TVXQ's comeback after 5 years away, after 20 years in the game. What did you think? And for more K-pop reviews, more music reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.